Wagwan OJ Merge. O there, J there again.
What's up? Great to see you guys.
Yeah, we kind of did left for a minute, as we mentioned on the last vlog, and so we're back again, and we are here to have some conversation, with people, because we miss and we really and truly do want to jump back into the vlog, but life gets caught up sometime. Left Atlanta for a little bit. Most of y'all know that we based here in Georgia, so we left here for a little bit. Really miss you guys. Couldn't wait to come back and sit down in front of the camera and have some conversation, and take some calls and whatnot.
Yes, so for those of you all who are new here, welcome to our channel. As my husband O mentioned, we're OJ Merge. We are relationship and love coaches. We specialize in intercultural dating. And so, we'll definitely be getting into some topics with you guys for those of you who are interested in how to level up your love life. You know what I'm saying?
There were a lot of emails, a lot of messages, that we received that, personal were reaching out. So we have some testimonials that we want to upload, and we will do that in the future. But also, we just wanted to get back with you guys, and dive into, those things that we used to talk about previously and new things as well.
For sure, for sure. So, like O mentioned, we left Georgia for a bit of time, and as I'm sure all of you know, life happens, right? And for a lot of people, life has been lifing. So we really wanted to get into that, like, how are you all navigating the changes? How are you taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental health, your wellness, just making sure that, you're building that resilience and not letting life get the best of you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's so easy to feel like you're drowning. So, yeah, what have been some strategies that help you? I think one strategy that we tried when I feel like life was getting really mundane is we packed up and we moved. We needed a change of scenery.
Okay.
And that came with its own challenges.
So let me ask you, how does it feel coming back, and getting back in front of an audience, or your people, and just being back filming and here to give them some advice and some information, and to have some chat and to share some of the things that went on then?
It's exciting, I definitely feel like you gotta get warmed back up to it. You know what I mean? Like it still flows naturally, I guess, but it's a little bit of jitters.
Okay. And for some of the people who don't know, and if you're new coming here, me is a Jamaican. Jay is an American. So Jamaican American. So sometimes, if I speak a certain type of way, you don't understand it, we can break it down for you if some of the case. But I know that majority of you guys will probably understand Jay a little bit more. But yeah, man, so you don't know. One of them things there. But where's one of the first place that we went to when we leave here, when we left Georgia?
So this is low-key like a little story time, y'all. We might gotta break this up. It's a long story. But no, seriously, we went to New Mexico. We decided to pack up everything and just set flight to New Mexico.
Okay, and why did we go to New Mexico?
It is a random place to pick, I would think. I don't think you hear every day, oh, I'm going to go live in New Mexico, or, I spent time in New Mexico.
Okay.
I think it's a unique set of people that just get up and go there. And I think we fit that demographic at the time. Because one, there was a job opportunity for O there. Very unique to Artesia, New Mexico.
There you go.
And also, we had Kingston, just one little baby with us. He still wasn't really school age yet, so we had that flexibility to say, ain't nothing holding us down. We can go. And for me, somebody who came to Georgia at 7, I feel like I've seen a lot of Atlanta, and so I just started to feel a little bit closed in, I think.
Okay.
And what about you?
Well, for me, it's like, Georgia got to me for a little bit. Work here got to me for a little bit. And I just decided to try something different, and I think, as Jay just mentioned, she was going through a phase as well. I was going through a phase, and I'm like, okay, an opportunity came. Let's see what's going on there. So she said, we packed up, did what we had to do, put the house up for rent, left. That's a whole nother story. You guys will get that. You guys will get that one too. About renting this property. So we packed up, we head out to Artesia, New Mexico. We went 2 places in New Mexico. We went to Artesia, we went to Albuquerque. Both places are not like the same. Even Albuquerque, it feels a little bit different from Artesia, because Artesia, I'm gonna be honest, in Artesia I saw probably about 3 black people. It was, well, 4.
Me, you,
and 2 more people. I saw 1 more dude, and I saw 1 other female that was black. Artesia is I don't know what to call it, but it's a different type of place, and the job that I went for there is one of the main things that they do there. It's like a training facility, and maybe if any one of those person, listen to this, they could tell automatically, like, that's what he went there to do. But yeah, so it was a different type of place, and I must say though, it's a place that you can raise your family. I must say, it's not too much going on over there. It's very chill, not a lot of crime. Didn't hear 1 gunshot fire. Didn't hear, too much robberies going on. Nothing like that. The city was just pretty chill. It had 1 Walmart, no Kroger, no Publix, no them type of grocery store. But if you go there with your partner, it's like you guys get time to reflect. You guys get time to kind of enjoy each other. There's not a lot of activity to do in Artesia, New Mexico. It's kind of a little bit desolate. It's surrounded by the desert. Very chill place though, It's affordable to live there if you go there. It's not too pricey in terms of, if you want to get an apartment, or if you want to get somewhere to live, it's not too pricey. Are there jobs? A lot of oil refinery jobs are there as well. That's one more thing that goes on there. It's a lot of refineries, so sometimes you probably do get a little whiff of that refinery. School, Kingston went to school there. They had a couple of schools there. They are pretty much some decent little schools around. The people that are there, a lot of Hispanics and a lot of white people are there. That is probably what makes up Artesia, New Mexico. And yes, they do give you those looks, but they are friendly people. And once they see somebody our color, the first thing is, are you here for that job? Because they know that majority of the people that they see coming to New Mexico, Artesia, is for that specific situation. But apart from that, friendly people are cool.
And I would say, when it comes to like life and transitions, people underestimate the amount of work it takes to make a transition in life. Like, you kind of got to get spiritually, emotionally, mentally, you got to kind of amp yourself up to make an unfamiliar change. And it's really scary. And so it explains why a lot of people don't make change, why people kind of just get stuck in their ways, because on the other side of your fear, there's a lot of great stuff or new things to learn, new things to see. But it's just the unfamiliar that kind of like, I don't know, I feel like it kills people's dreams or kills people's ability to grow before it gets started. So we had to go through like taking it from being an idea to the fact of, okay, if we're going to do this, what are the jobs? Now we got to qualify for a job and then get the position, get the interview, right? So it's hurdles you got to jump. Then you got to consider, okay, where is my child going to go to school? Where can I find a good tenant who can take over my property but still take care of it so that when it's time to come back home, I can pick up where I left off. Like, all of that takes a lot of courage, you guys. So if any of y'all are out there like kind of playing with the idea of starting over, going somewhere new, switching up your life a little bit, then definitely consider that you're not alone. It can be scary, but it can 100% be done, because we didn't have any family in New Mexico. We didn't know anybody in New Mexico. It's literally on the other side of the freaking country. Super long drive if you're driving, 18 hours. Yeah. Different weather, different scenery, different people as O outlined. So, I mean, you really just got to get froggy and leap. But I'm really proud that we were able to have that experience.
Yes, and move like those as a couple sometime, or when you're in a relationship, it speaks a lot. You get to see, planning skills. You get to see how each other put together a plan for move. As she outlined just now, you have to put certain things in perspective before you leave. You got to put things in order, because if you're going to a new state or you're going somewhere far away from home, then you got to make sure that home is okay when you leave. And we don't have that much family or that much people to say, all right, you know what, hold this down while we get back. That ain't gonna work. Everybody got their own situation and whatnot. So with that being said, we had to, make sure that everything was set up properly before we made that move.
And what made us narrow down on New Mexico, because I think this is very important, it was actually El Paso, Texas that we were gonna move to first. And I know like a lot of people like, El Paso, like why not Houston? Like come on now. So it's certain key factors that I look for if I'm gonna live somewhere new. I'm looking for somewhere that's safe. I'm looking for somewhere where blacks are treated well and respected. And I'm looking for something that is economical too, yeah, or we would have been in California if we didn't care about affordability.
Let me say this.
But
I remember when we pulled in a New Mexico, and I look at George, I look at JPS.
Oh, the drive there is a whole nother
We pulled
story.
inside of there and she see New Mexico. She saw Artesia, New Mexico for the first time. Her face got really serious. I think she was probably saying, what the heck is this place? Whatnot. And I felt like you felt some type of way, like, I ain't seen here.
Well, you know what it was? I felt culture shocked because, see, we had been looking at El Paso, Texas. We had visited twice, kind of got a feel for the city, realized, oh, the views are beautiful, the weather's beautiful, like we could live here. Because weather's also something that's important to me. I don't want to be nowhere where there's a lot of natural disasters constantly happening, right? So it was El Paso. And then by way of the opportunity that we were exploring, the training ground was actually in New Mexico. So New Mexico was never supposed to be longer than a 6-month time frame, because once we got done with training in New Mexico, then the next step was gonna be to El Paso. So I was already familiar with El Paso. New Mexico, I don't think we had visited before we moved there. I think we just was like,
yeah,
we driving and this is home, and it was very much a culture shock.
I've heard of 2 places in New Mexico. I've never heard of Artesia, never been there before. I know Roswell, because we've been to Roswell as well. I've always heard about Roswell and the aliens and whatnot. So I was a little bit, I've heard of Roswell. And me as a Jamaican, probably that's why I'm here at Roswell, because of the little, extraterrestrial behavior that go on at Roswell. And then I've heard of Albuquerque in some songs and whatnot. Never been there before, ending up going there. So that was that. But apart from that, I don't think we never been there to say, all right, this is what it is. We just know, all right, get an apartment as close to the training facility that it is, and we just want to know that, all right, we're going to go there, we're going to see it is what it is. We got 6 months there. We're going to do the training, and then we'll get to go where we were supposed to, be based.
New Mexico is very chill. There are some socioeconomical issues going on down there. It has like the highest rate of substance abuse, I think, in the United States. So no place is perfect, but our experience was that the people were cool, they were chill. Yeah, they're gonna stare at you because you are a great minority in that environment, but they're also very eager to get to know you. I feel like They see you and they're curious and they want to strike up a conversation. They want to know where you're from. How long are you staying? What do you do? You'll get invited to a lot of potlucks. I
was trying to figure that out. Like, why everybody do the potluck? And then to me as a Jamaican, I'm not really familiar with the potluck type of thing. I've never heard of no potluck. If it's pot, it's pot. If you're lucky, you're lucky. Potluck together, I don't know what that thing is. So when I hear them start talking with this potluck, I'm like, what the heck is a potluck?
Oh, but speaking of pot, they do got the pot. So it is it's a greenery friendly place. If you're into the cannabis industry, or you're interested in starting a business in that or what have you, New Mexico is very much pro cannabis.
They do. Go ahead, babe.
But yeah, the people are super friendly. They're family oriented. They are churchgoers, I would assume, and just hardworking people at the end of the day.
I won't speak of New Mexico. It's not entirety. We based majority of our time frame in Artesia, so this is for Artesia. We went to probably Albuquerque for probably a month in totality of the time frame that we're there. Maybe a month, a little bit over a month, but for the most part of it, we drive to Roswell to see what it is. Actually drive through Roswell, but the majority of our time we're spending in Artesia, New Mexico.
Well, we did live in Albuquerque for about 3 weeks. In a hotel for O's work purposes, and that was really nice to just kind of
get away from Artesia.
Yeah, because Artesia is not a lot happening, but in Albuquerque, you can find a little something to get into, and then the views are breathtaking. Like the mountains are just staring you in your face. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's really breathtaking, guys.
There's one thing that I appreciated being there too. You see a lot of Native Americans. Now in Albuquerque, I've never seen as much Native Americans as I've seen until I went to Albuquerque. I know, there's a lot of Native Americans on the outskirts in New Mexico. I think New Mexico is, I feel in place that. New Mexico where you find all the Native Americans, them are the big chunk of it, from my experience. Because, I've met so much of them, different culture, different way of life, different way they live, different way they do things, their beliefs. I had conversation with a couple of them, so that was a beautiful experience.
But I think the most challenging part for me is I felt like we would move here and really just like do super well. Speaking for myself, financially I thought we would do super well, and then my job field kind of took a nosedive. And so what ended up happening is I had to switch professions, because I went from doing really well in one profession and thinking, oh, let me take this great profession to this small little city where everything's super cost efficient. We about to be, ooh. And I got the shock of my life because that did not happen. I ended up having to take a fairly low paying job, but it was a good job. It was a job providing service for families who have children with developmental and biological disabilities. So think autism and anything on the spectrum. And just really supporting those families to grow their children's skills and their cognitive behavior and their social skills. And it was a low paying job, but I got to really meet the families of New Mexico, like really go into their homes, be welcomed into their homes, and get to sit with them and get to know them and get to know these babies. And it really showed me a different side of myself. It showed me that the humanitarian side is very much alive. And so, yeah, I think that was really insightful for me. I used to complain about it because I had to drive 40 miles a day to make that little pocket change, y'all. But it was good work. It was good work.
I think that was great work because, anytime you get to help the less fortunate or get to help someone that's facing disabilities or challenges in forming a regular life, then you are doing something. You are contributing to society, you're contributing to humanity, and I think it builds empathy overall. I think it builds empathy overall, when you get to care for, special needs, anybody have special needs or anybody with complications, because it ain't easy, it ain't easy caring for a special need child. It ain't easy caring for a person of special need. A lot of people go through it on a day-to-day basis, and they still gotta go out there and face the world regular like all is well, but know that when they, head in, then they have someone to deal with that type of, deficiency. But all in all, it was good there, we will go into other things and we'll go into more things, but for the most part, we're just happy that we get to, get back to you guys and we can have some conversation, and we will continue all of those conversations. We'll get into things that, you guys want to talk about as well and whatnot. We're just giving you a little update, a little catch up, on what's going on. For sure. So, it was nice having the chat, and you will start seeing more videos. You guys will start seeing more videos come out, but just like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Share the channel. We're trying to build back the audience, grow back the audience again, and get into it, and we can do some great things with you guys again. So
I think you said it. So that's it for now, and stay tuned. Come back to hear more about our journey after we concluded living in New Mexico, because that's not where it ended.
Yes, we went somewhere else also, so we will give you some updates on that, and then we'll give you the fillers. We're brushing over the top of certain things, but we'll give you the fillers, you know, while we progress and while we go on, and we'll have talks. And you guys, you know, send y'all comments in and let us know, you know, some of the things that you guys want to speak on and talk on again, because if you're not new to the channel, then you see that there's a variety of things sometimes that we dive into, variety of things that we talk about, you know, the American way of living, the Jamaican way of living, and all type of things. And if you're new to the channel, just, you know, we have multiple videos for you to go on and check it out and see what's going on and see what the channel is all about. And grow with us.
And comment down below, like, what's a recent life challenge or transition you've had to go through recently, or that you're about to go through that you're really struggling with. We would love to hear about it.
It's life changing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know it going on. A O, a J, a OJ merge. See you next time. We out. Boom.